if I had a voice to sing, man, I'll be singing all the time. I sing a lot now. I don't have, and I can't sing. So, 1 2 1 2. Wait to introduce myself. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. MIYT. I do feel that people often look at people from a distance who they feel are established and have something going on for themselves more as an opportunity rather than a chance to build something genuine. So there are situations where people tend to look at connecting with someone more as a come up than as a way to build real bridges. And this game that we've built, it's all about relationships and building genuine connections. And I always stress the importance of building relationships with good people who just happen to work at great brands. And I think it should be the same for people on the creative level, that you're really building with a good person who happens to do great work, and let the relationship and the creativity build from there. Just because we live in a world where everything right now seems like it's going to shit, but because I'm an optimist, I see a sliver of hope in mankind and humanity, and I feel like there's a way for us to get back to that essence that used to, exist amongst people in an industry. So no cutthroatness, no, backstabbing, no trying to get on the come up. So I think it's just my duty to always, push positivity, inspire others, and hopefully people pay it forward and do the same in their world. So if I'm spreading love and you're spreading love overall, there's more love to go around instead of trying to keep all that energy to ourselves. You have people who congratulate you because they can't do what you do. And then there's other people who congratulate you because your work is good, but they can do what you do. And the people that I kind of want giving me feedback are generally the people who can do what I do, because that's when I know that I'm either doing something good or I'm doing something bad. We just can't live in a world where everything is praise, 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 because you won't evolve. And I think as an artist or as a creative, you need to evolve. You need to take your work into different dimensions in order to get better at it and to open up new avenues. So yes, I'm open to criticism. I welcome criticism. I don't get a lot of it, and sometimes it bums me out. And I tell my followers, the ones that send me DMs, I'm like, hey, listen, if ever my work starts slipping and it doesn't inspire you anymore, let me know. My willingness to accept criticism is based on the saying that steel sharpens steel, that I really want people in my peer group to have the want and will to criticize my work, and I would reciprocate that too, because it's the only way that any of us would get stronger in what we do. Oftentimes, I've seen people that I've looked up to take criticism from their peer group or people that follow them as an attack on their whole being, when that's not what the truth is. The truth is they want to see you do better, or they think that something that you did wasn't as good as it could have been. And if I get to a point where I don't want criticism, I know that my artistry has become stagnant. I parked my car down the street and I probably passed 80 people on my way here, and I didn't say hi to not one of them. They didn't say hi to me either. And I'm kind of in my mind like, why not? Like, why can't I just spark a conversation where 80 random people say, hey, what's up? You good? How are you? And just really just build. Like, we have the opportunity to all pull each other out of situations, out of ruts, out of depression, out of so many different things if we just communicated with one another, and we don't. So, and that's just the way life is. So I get on a plane and you see 200 passengers, and you may talk to the person sitting next to you, and that's when if you're lucky. So I look at the world that way, and I look at the world as, how do I make it that people feel that when they look at one of my portraits, that, man, I know that person. As an artist, it's really important for you to have confidence in your creative, what I would call your creative worth. Understanding that if you're good at something, you should be paid to do it. And it's no one's business to when you started being good. So the insecurities that you might feel sometimes, saying that I can't charge this, I can't charge that because I haven't been doing it long enough, no one needs to know that. And there's always budget. No matter what they tell you, there's always budget. And working for exposure is not going to expose you to anything else other than not being paid. So value yourself and understand that it's not always about a dollar, but put a value to what is it you do. So the minute you know better, you can do better. One thing that I'd like to see happen in the photography world is that Black and brown photographers get the rewards and the accolades from photographing our own people. Oftentimes, it would be a white man or woman who would go to third world countries and document our people in destitute, impoverished scenarios, do a photo book, come back, win an award. And I feel that if we were the ones behind the lens creating our own narrative, telling our own stories, we can go there, capture our people in a different light that's more uplifting, that's a different perspective, and get all the accolades and rewards and grants that go along with that. So it's really important that we shift the narrative from the white gaze into us telling our own stories. When I first started doing street photography, the first thing we gravitated towards was shooting homeless people. You see somebody that's on the street, you take a shot because you're like, oh yeah, people are gonna like this. I stopped doing that a long time ago. What message am I showing the world by photographing homeless people without any context other than them being homeless? So that became a choice for me not to photograph homeless people without any opportunity to either give the viewer context and or to give back to that person. If I go now and publish a book based on those images, what happens to that person that was laying on the streets? The name slips me right now, but it's a photographer who photographed a little Black boy in, I believe, Somalia being eaten by crows. And that picture won him a Pulitzer Prize. But the conversation around that image was so deep that a few years later, he ended up taking his own life. Because the pressure was, hey, you took a photo of this boy being eaten by crows and you didn't help him. And the boy died. That pressure was so heavy that he took his life. So imagine thinking about responsibility with the camera. Do you run into a burning building to save someone, or do you take a photo of the burning building? I never let the ills of the world change my personal essence of who I am. So even though there's a lot of negativity happening, even though there's a lot of craziness happening, I don't alter my perspective. I don't let it bring me to a point where I no longer want to do good in the world because I'm seeing the world go to shit.